Hey everybody, I'm Blast, and this video will be about the versatile assassin jungler Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is a solo queue monster because of his ability to take advantage of mispositioned enemies and 1v9 games through his high damage and versatile kit. Now with the intro out of the way, let's move into the lore. A vicious void predator, Kha'Zix infiltrated Valoran to devour the land's most promising creatures. With every kill he absorbs the prey's strength, evolving to grow more powerful. Kha'Zix hungers most to conquer and consume Rengar, the one beast he considers his equal. When Kha'Zix crossed over into this world, he was fragile and ravenous. The animals he first encountered were too small to fuel the rapid evolution he craved. Kha'Zix focused his hunger on the most dangerous creatures he could find, risking his life to satisfy his need. With each kill he feasted and changed, becoming a stronger, faster predator. Kha'Zix soon chased his prey with unrestrained aggression, believing he was unstoppable. One day, while he was savoring a fresh kill, the predator became the prey. From cover, a creature pounced in a blur of fangs and steel, tackling him to the ground. It roared in his face, slashing and clawing, and Kha'Zix felt his blood spill for the first time. Screeching in fury, he sliced at the brute's eye, driving it back. They fought from sunset to sunrise. Finally, near death, they reluctantly separated. As his wounds closed, Kha'Zix burned with anticipation at the idea of devouring one who could match the void's strength. He resumed his research for powerful prey with renewed vigor. Someday Kha'Zix will feast on Rengar, the only one he sees as an equal. This is not visible to the enemy team. He gains unseen threat, causing his next basic attack against an enemy champion to deal bonus damage. Isolated targets are marked, and Kha'Zix's abilities have special interactions with those who are marked. His Q, Taste of Fear. Kha'Zix deals damage. The damage is doubled if the enemy is isolated. When evolved, the range of both auto attacks and Taste Their Fear is increased by 50. If the target is isolated, Taste Their Fear's cooldown is reduced by 45%. His W, Void Spike. Kha'Zix fires exploding spikes that deal physical damage to enemies hit. Kha'Zix is also healed if he is also within the explosion radius. When Spike Rax is evolved, Void Spike now fires 3 spikes in a cone, slows hit enemies, and reveals enemy champs for 2 seconds. Isolated targets are slowed for 90%. His E, Leap. Kha'Zix jumps and deals physical damage upon impact. Leap's range is increased by 200 and resets the cooldown upon kills and assists when upgraded. Kha'Zix's ult, Void Assault. Raking up this ability allows for Kha'Zix to evolve one of his 4 abilities, giving it special interactions. The active for this ability allows him to go invisible temporarily, an increase in movement speed, and ignores unit collision. When evolved, Kha'Zix can go invisible 3 times, and the duration is increased to 2 seconds instead of 1 second. Kha'Zix's ability to evolve moves is the thing that shows how good a Kha'Zix is. This is because when the versatility of his kit can be fully utilized based on circumstance, Kha'Zix is able to completely carry the game by himself. What my typical evolution order is Q, W into E or R. You always want to evolve Q first for any build, because the damage it provides is insane. W second is good for both Conquer and Electrocute. The reason you can pick W over E most of the time is because it's unnegatable slow and a reveal. But if you think you can really carry the game, E can be maxed evolved second, and that's extremely optimal for the Electrocute build. So you get resets off kills in a team fight and jump around the entire time. Then finally, if you do evolve W second, you can either evolve E or R. E is good for team fight, R is good for utility, which is also good for team fight, because R also allows for insane outplays and trickery. While the Conqueror build, you evolve Q, then W, then R. The evolve order is for utility and team fight, with the W slow to reveal and catch out enemies, and R to stay safe. While with the Electrocute build, you go Q, W if you want to, E if you really think you're smurfing, and then if you go QE, then you go R. But you can also go QEW or QER. It's up to personal preference. Now that we're done with the abilities, we can move on to clears. The clear for Kha'Zix is relatively simple. You just go, you can start basically wherever you want, but if you're going for the optimal highest HP clear, you start blue, you go Gromp, Wolves, red, Raptors, into Scuttle, and then Krugs. But if you want to go red, if you want to start red side, you can go red, Krugs, Raptors, Wolves, blue, Scuttle, Gromp. Now, moving on to combos. Kha'Zix has a ton of combos, but the basic ones are Auto Q. That's the most basic combo you have, and that's because you get the slow off and then you get your Q off. It's really not that hard. And then moving on to when the laner doesn't have flash or their movement ability is really limited. You E, you can W midair, and then Q when you're like 3/4 of the way there, like in your jump. And then you auto once you land for the slow, and then if they're isolated, you'll have your Q up in a second. Now this combo is when you have ult up and when they can run away, but let's say their jungler's topside and you're coming from bot. You want to kill them even if they don't have flash. So what you do is you immediately gain unseen threat, and then you also gain movement speed and avoid unit collision, so you don't have to worry about minions. And then you can E, W midair, Q, and then auto. So it's basically the same combo as before, except you're throwing an ult before. And then you can also ult after you hit the slow to refresh your unseen threat, and then slow again, and then Q, and then that will probably kill them unless they're relatively tanky. Now, there's a combo where if everyone's one shot, you can basically just hop around them. The Kha'Zix pentakill combo, basically. It's just E, W midair, Q midair, and then auto when you land, and then you just keep chaining EQWs or EWQs the whole time, basically once they get up. And the combo is actually relatively devastating for being not necessarily easy, but simple. Not easy, but simple. With this combo, you can really pop off in team fights, and it's insane seeing it if you're on the enemy team, because where are you going to throw your CC? He's jumping everywhere. Moving on to itemization for Kha'Zix, you always want to start Hunter's Talisman because you're going to be autoing the camps. You're going to be auto Q, auto Q, auto Q over and over again, and then you start with refill, and then you put your warding trinket down early at like 45 to 50 second mark, and then you get Oracle Lens, and then depending on what page you're going, if you're going Assassin, then you go Blue Smite, or if you're just in low elo in general, you go Blue Smite. But as you go higher, Conqueror Kha'Zix becomes better and more prevalent, so you always go Red Smite in order to be able to duel people better. You always want to rush Duskblade, and boots of your choice is depending. You can do it to match your jungler if you want to constantly fight them, but you can always do it to match their team. Like if everyone on their team has CC, then you get Merc Treads. But if like one person has CC, but your jungler is an AD auto-attacking jungler, like let's say Jax, then you want to get Tabai. For second item, it depends on your set as well. If you go Conquer, then you usually want to go into Black Cleaver. But for Electrocute, you usually go into Yomu's. And your third item can usually be, if you're Conquer, you go Death Dance. But if you're Kha'Zix, you usually want to go an armor pet item. You can go Black Cleaver. I usually end up going Hex Drinker if they have something like a LeBlanc or Annie that's going to instantly burst you, just so that you live and then you can one-shot them after you survive their burst. But if they don't have that, you can go into LDR or Mortal Reminder. Both are good armor pet items, but just remember Mortal Reminder builds off of Executioner, so it reduces healing. But at the state of the game right now, you can also probably just go Death Dance on Electrocute Kha'Zix because Death Dance is just way too broken. And you can just go GA when you need it. And that will be the end of the video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and bye-bye.